What up, guys? Welcome to episode 133 of Fresh Off the Mats. Here with the Jiu-Jitsu Joes.
I think I got a broken nut.
Sorry you guys are getting this episode on Saturday. It just schedule stuff. Don't worry about it. We have lives. We have lives, important things going on. So you're getting this episode this week a day late. Calm down. You're going to be okay. All 12 of you.
All 12 of you. We got like 200 now, don't we? Is it 100?
I think on YouTube we have like 120 something. And on Spotify, I don't know. I don't know how to check how many followers we have on Spotify.
I don't understand that.
We get a lot of views. We get a lot of views on stuff. Yeah, we were just talking about how hot it is in Florida right now. It's fucking getting to that point of the year where you're going to sweat your balls off just walking down the stairs before you even get out the door in the morning.
just thinking about going outside,
just
you're going to sweat.
thinking about going outside, you're going to have a little trickle down your eyebrow. That's Florida, though. I like it. I'd rather have that than snow. I'm not a fan of snow.
See, no. You know what I don't like about that fuck-ass comparison? Those are two different seasons. I just want a summer that we get 85 degrees. I don't want it to be 105 to 110 degrees outside. That's crazy.
The only time you're going to have a summer that's like 85 degrees if like you're in Wisconsin.
When we're in our fall.
No, because even in New York, it's like 90 something.
True.
And then
the whole East Coast, the whole East, because these motherfuckers came from Europe and they landed and they were like swamps. Build.
Yeah, let's build right here.
Fucking concrete on top of that.
It made sense for port reasons to like establish ports. You weren't going to build your big cities towards inland.
I get that, but damn, dude.
Have you heard of the show Prime Evil on Netflix?
Is it good?
I'm one episode in. Damn, bro. I haven't
started it yet.
Damn, dark as fuck. Banger.
Worth it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's a good one.
It's been on my like watch list, and I've been wanting to jump on it.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Trying to catch up.
I was hesitant because I'm like, I'm not into period pieces like that, like back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, because like, and I know this is dumb, but I know how it turns out. Like, you know what I mean? Spoiler alert. We know the ending.
I read a history book.
Yeah, like.
Oh, did you see that whole the adaptation they're doing for dinosaur movie?
What?
They're gonna do something where it's like this Vietnam fucking helo went down and deep in Vietnam, and it's like a fucking like a testing area, and they have dinosaurs and shit. They're gonna do a whole sci-fi thing where during the Vietnam
dino sci-fi movie
during the Vietnam era though. So it's just all these guys with motherfucking F-16s and shit trying to go fight a dinosaur, bro. I'm excited for it. I love dinosaur movies. I don't give a fuck how not realistic it is. I'm all about it.
I like the rewriting of history if I know about it ahead of time. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I was so fucking mad at that movie, and I don't know why so many people like that movie. It was such a good movie up into the end. Because then they rewrite history of what actually happened. And it's infuriating.
Once Upon a Time.
Huh?
It says what? Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the name of the movie.
So it sounds like they're letting you know that they're going to change it.
No. It's based on Charlie Manson and the Manson family. And it leads to the climax of them killing all those people in the house. And that's the ending. However, spoiler alert. Yeah, spoiler alert. Quentin Tarantino changes the ending of things that actually happened. And instead of them killing the family, the people they're about to kill turn on them and kill them.
Time out. Bro, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Shit. But
Inglourious Bastards, they killed Hitler.
I understand.
He changes shit all the time,
I understand,
bro.
But
that's your fault. Nah.
No.
I was on board with you. That's your fault. This is so far. One, Once Upon a Time, already a fairy tale. Two, Quentin Tarantino. Longest time I didn't know he was a white dude.
What did you think he was?
I thought he was a black guy.
You thought Quentin Tarantino was a black guy?
I thought he was a black guy.
Dude, it's crazy that
for the longest time I had no fucking clue that
you've seen Pulp Fiction, right?
Yes.
He gets away with saying the N-word, hard R, in that movie multiple times.
Who?
How has he not been canceled? Quentin Tarantino.
What role was he?
He was the guy when they accidentally killed the guy in the back seat. He's the guy that they go to his house to clean up the car.
Oh shit, he is.
Yes. And remember when he calls his garage?
Yes.
Dead something storage?
Yeah. God damn.
And he says it multiple times. How's that guy not been canceled for that one? Fuck, man.
What's the fucking movie? Yeah, Django, bro.
Yeah, but he doesn't say it.
He does it.
Yeah.
But Leonardo, man.
Does Leonardo say it in that movie?
Yes.
I forgot.
He fucking
I've only seen that movie
nuts
once,
in it.
but it was really good.
He even, Leonardo apparently was just like, he would apologize before and after recording because he felt so bad. He was like, because he would get, you've seen Leonardo act. Like, he gets into his character. You know, like the scene when he crushes the skull?
And it actually
he actually cut him, but he continues. Yeah. So, like, he's into his role, so he would apologize. And then Samuel L. Jackson told him, he was just like, bro, fucking, who gives a shit?
Just
say it. He was like, do your shit, do your part. You're an actor. Like, do your job. And so that's pretty funny. I think it was also Samuel Jackson where, like, some guy was saying how he wishes he could say it, and then he was just like, say it.
Say it right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. And then another news reporter, it was like one of on the sportscasters, he was like, nah, say it. I'm telling you right now. Go ahead, say it. He was just like, he's like, no, I don't want to say it. He goes, whatever actions happen afterwards is what's going to happen, but say it. You want to say it so bad, say it. Yeah. That's my thing when people say that. It's like no one says you can't say it, but if it's like the whole freedom of speech thing. I love when people are like, well, I got freedom of speech. That doesn't give you any clearance to just say whatever and not have a consequence. There's going to be a consequence. And also, freedom of speech only applies to the government, not to the private citizens. You fucking dumb people. But either way, when someone's just like, oh, freedom of speech, I get to say some racial slur. If you get punched in the mouth, that is all on you, dog. Yeah. Like, you chose freedom. Freedom also comes with consequences. Fucking eat it, dude. Like,
it doesn't mean you can't retaliate to what people say.
Exactly, bro. I love when people on videos are just like, freedom of speech, though, freedom of speech, as they're about to get their ass beat, bro. I love it. I love those videos so much.
My favorite videos to watch lately are fat people getting hurt at the gym. I don't know why I've went down a dark rabbit hole of fat people getting real hurt at the gym. Like, and I get it. They're trying their best, but for some reason, like, these videos have creeped into my algorithm of fat people just, like, getting really hurt at the gym. Like, really debilitating injuries. And I don't know why it's making me laugh.
Ankle, bro. That's it.
No, like broken shit. Broken arms, broken ankles.
Oh, my God, Joe. You're a dick.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what you get for trying to cheat with Ozempic. You got brittle ass bones.
I mean, that's also
true. You got bones like fucking Wayfair crackers.
I'm not liking that. I personally don't like that. There's a time and a place for it.
I think my 600-pound life-size motherfuckers, they belong.
But no, that's what it's supposed to be. But when I see these people who are like 200 pounds and they're like, I'm just going to take Ozempic. Bro, why don't you just watch what you put in your fucking mouth?
Yeah.
I hate that shit so much. Watch what you put in your mouth. And it's like, and again, I'll always say this. You do not have to be the most shredded person. You don't have to have a six-pack. But God damn it, bro, if you get tired going up 3 stairs, change your life. Fucking, if you can't do a jog to your mailbox, change your life.
Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Again, the problem is just like steroids. It's just like any other drug. It's okay to a certain degree. It's when you start to overly abuse it. I think that's what I'm, what do you call it? Like Ozempic, you use it as a kickstart when you're morbidly obese. And once you lose the pounds, you got to take over yourself.
Yes, you have to.
So if you're like 600 pounds and it helps you get down to 350,
300 or 400. Sure.
Yeah, now you got to take over. Okay, now I'm lighter. Now I got to take like control. You can't rely on these things like a crutch. I think the same thing with steroids. Testosterone, I think it's okay in a normal dose.
Not when you're 21 years old trying to shoot yourself up with
and you're putting up like 5 times the amount in you and you look like insane.
Your back gets destroyed with acne. Your whole face is fucked up. Oh, I got fucking big though. Who gives a shit, bro?
Oh, but 40-year-olds taking. Yeah, because they need medically
their test
for a certain dose.
And even then, I love when people say that. Be like, oh, but like certain people will take it. They're not taking a steroid abuse amount. Yeah, they're taking a medically prescribed amount. Some people are taking as little as like fucking 10 milligrams or whatever the hell, and then they'll jump their numbers up from like 300 to 700, and they're done. Yeah. They're not trying to put their test levels at like 2,000 and walk around like that, bro. Like, come on,
it's so fucking stupid. But then that's the problem where these things get a bad rap is because people like that, people see those stories.
Yes,
they see the stories of like, this guy was taking 10 syringes of steroids. This guy was taking 10 syringes of Ozempic.
Yeah. But if you're at that level, you are considered a drug addict.
Yeah, you need to take a certain amount that makes you homeostasis, makes you normal. You're balanced. You're at an even keel. But people abuse shit all the time.
Yeah, they can't. And I don't understand. The whole thing with steroids kind of blows me away. Like, I got buddies that are on it, and I know,
But I don't judge.
But
Because
yeah,
I
that's
have
the thing.
friends that are like stage
Yes,
bodybuilding.
and so that's
And I don't
that's
care.
it. Like I know that they'll
Yeah.
take it, but they also all know I can't go certain levels. Like I can't go too high, but because they have to have the proper. Just like you said, there's
Yeah.
like a level that they need to be at. They're not just shooting themselves, and that's not what I also think the problem is. The people that get into this, they also don't go in with like an educated background, or at least having like a mentor
But
to be able to coach them through.
I don't judge on a drug level. Bro, you want to smoke pot? If you enjoy smoking pot, smoke pot. If you enjoy taking steroids because you like the way your body looks, you go on stage, you perform, do that. If you like doing mushrooms because you like the psychedelic effect, who am I to say to you, don't take whatever drugs?
No.
The only drugs that you shouldn't take are the ones that affect other people.
Yes.
If you're taking PCP and it makes you angry and start punching people
And
in the
just start
face,
fucking going nuts
Yeah.
in a crowd, yeah, dude.
but
probably
listen,
not.
you want to do fucking acid just so you could trip balls and see Jesus? Go for it. Who am I to judge you?
Yeah.
Who am
Like,
I?
when you
That's
just
your
chill.
good time.
But that's
Why is it okay for somebody to go get blasted with alcohol?
But
on the weekend?
you know all those things too. The same thing, like I was saying. What's like the thing that they always say? You need to have like a trip supervisor. What do they call them?
Oh, like a shaman?
No, not a shaman. It's
Is
just
there a
like
shaman?
I mean,
A
shamans are
guide?
a thing. It's like a trip guide.
A
So it's
guide?
like you're not going to go take shrooms right off the rip and be by yourself. Usually, you want to have like your buddy with you who's experienced, and they'll be able to kind of like,
But even
yeah,
if
you're
want
not
to,
actually seeing the shit melt and all
yeah,
that.
but even if you want to, who cares? Are you hurting anybody? You bothering anybody?
I don't want people to hurt themselves. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Yeah, but
That's where I'm at. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So
But that's what I'm saying.
be
If you're
smart.
But that's what I'm saying with all these things. If you're taking a dose that is just for pleasure purposes and it's not hurting anybody, especially yourself, then what does it matter?
Oh well, yeah.
What does it matter?
Well, yeah.
If you're smoking pot just to like chill out and stuff, but if you know if you smoke too much pot, you'll like want to do something dumb like drive to Wendy's and like get into a wreck. That's what I'm saying. If you take enough to just
chill
it's
out.
like alcohol.
Yeah.
You could drink in your house and be fine, or you could drink overly too much and you could get in your car and kill somebody.
I was having that conversation with a client because she was like, I don't understand the whole like DUI test. She was just like when they ask you to say your alphabet backwards, like why? And I was like, because you shut down your inhibition. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, because a sober person is going to look at a cop and be like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
A drunk person is going to sit there and try to do it for 5 to 10 minutes and then be like, I can't do it. You're like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's been fucking 10 minutes, dog.
ZYXW.
I swear to God, if you knock this out.
ZYXW.
Bro, I can't.
V.
No, I need to look at an alphabet. I can't even. I have to.
I legit don't think I could
30.
do it. Wait.
I'm 30 years old. I can't recite the alphabet without singing it. See?
QRSTUV WXY and Z ZYXWV UTP.
No way.
No,
dude.
I don't know. I can't do it.
Try it again,
I know
try
I
it again.
can. ZYXWV UPT.
No.
TUP.
No.
UPT.
You already said you.
TWB. I don't know.
You already said W. It's you missed
C?
SRQ.
Oh, SRQ. I don't think anybody could do it. I mean, nah, I shouldn't say
No, there are people
do
that can do it. There are people that can do it.
But those people are losers. They're not enjoying their lives. They're too busy just
Studying the
But
alphabet.
who am I to judge? Like I said with the drugs, you want to learn the alphabet backwards? That's on you.
It's like, have you seen those kids do the Rubik's Cube, bro? Bro, one
I
saw.
was talking to Paul about it. Was it Paul? I was talking to No. That's nothing. That's nothing. Have you seen the guy who juggles 3 Rubik's Cubes and solves them in midair?
Yeah, he's just flipping them as he's going.
Yeah.
I'm just,
That's a gangster right
like,
there.
what the fuck, bro?
Bro, you want to get laid as a nerd? You go to the bar with 3 mixed up Rubik's Cubes and you bet girls, you think I could solve these, all 3 of them in X amount of time? Yeah. And then you break out juggling on top of that shit. You're going to get all the pussy.
That's how
that
you
night.
hustle. Fuck that.
That's how you get all the pussy
Fuck
that
bitches
night.
get money, bro. You hustle everybody in that bar.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Start with 1, get to 2, get to 3, build the bets, then start juggling, make hundreds of dollars that
But
night.
you don't tell them you're
free
going to
alcohol.
juggle to solve them. You don't tell them that. That's like
that's
flair.
the end. And that's where you're, then
That's
people
the
are just going to
flair.
start handing you money, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck bitches get money.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Go
a
get
cool
your
one.
paper up,
I
dog.
like that. That's super
like,
cool.
That's crazy, dude. One, how? How do you just get to that level of like, you know what?
Because
I
you
need to
solve
do?
Rubik's Cubes and it gets boring and then you're like, let me add juggling into the mix.
Not just 1 get bored. That dude had to sit there with 2 and was like this he was like, all right, I got 2.
Now I'm gonna throw them in the air.
Just fucking do 3 like this. And he's like, oh, I can do it. Like, bro, what the fuck is that? Man?
Humans are capable of some crazy things. Sometimes you just see things and you're like, wow, that's pretty fucking impressive.
I mean, I still look at buildings and I'm like, fucking people did that. It's still weird. Like, yeah, we have machines and shit now, but it's like still someone was out there with like everything. Have you looked at your phone and just like realized that people figured that out? Have you thought about that? Like actually consciously sat down and was like, some people got together and was like, I figured out how to get electricity to run through this little fucking thing. And this little thing is able to reach out to everything.
Who else?
But that's what I'm saying. But it's just crazy how people can just do all this shit. We got all these things. And it's just a person was like, one day back in the day was like, yeah, we got electricity now. We don't use lamps. Bro, what?
But it takes somebody to do it, dude. It takes an innovator to just be like, I figured out how to make electricity run.
Was it Isaac Newton for gravity, right? Was it Isaac Newton?
Yeah.
Was it?
Isaac Newton.
For gravity?
Yes.
Okay.
With the apple.
Yes. Saw that and they were like, this fuck ass came up with gravity. He's like, we could have been flying if that motherfucker didn't invent that shit.
But it was always around.
No, I know.
Nobody wrote out a thing about it.
That shit had me dying when they said that. I was like, that's not how that works. People were just floating before Isaac Newton was like, gravity's real. Fucking, you hit the ground.
Are you talking about the people like they interview on the streets and like the girl was like, gravity wasn't around before Isaac Newton.
Yes.
It's like it was always around, you dumbass. He just fucking formulated.
And then I saw a photo. It said,
I wanted to punch that girl in the face.
It showed Isaac Newton sitting in like, one of those old paintings. And he's sitting there like this. Or I think he had his hand like this. It was like Isaac Newton when he came up with the theory of gravity. Just thinking he's a badass. He was like, yeah, I named that shit that's keeping us down.
Bro. When that girl said that, she's like, it wasn't around prior to Isaac Newton. I'm like, what?
No, the name wasn't, bro. The name wasn't there. They just didn't know what to call it.
Formulated. Yeah, they
just
didn't know. Yeah.
They didn't know. What was it? The color blue. Blue wasn't a known like a normal color. I forgot. I think it's in the Odyssey. He called the ocean. It was like the color of a deep red wine. That was the description of it because they didn't have a color of blue. It wasn't like that known way to describe that color.
Well, so I mean, everything didn't have a name to it until somebody just said, that's what we're going to
do. And then they put it down and then everyone just kind of followed suit. Yeah. But to me, I'm like, that's so crazy to think like things that are so normalized to us was because some dude like 500, 1,000 years ago was like, nah, we need to put something to this.
Yeah,
like,
we need a name.
We can't just have that.
We need to put some letters together and make a sound and that represents the color blue.
Which is weird, bro. Yeah. Like, can you think like, the letter J also wasn't always a thing? Letter, like that's why if you look at Old English, like sometimes it seems like they're skipping letters. It's because there was no letter for what they were trying to say, and that's why pronunciations kind of also changed. And it just
tried doing alphabets back in the day backwards, bitch.
In Latin, bro. Fucking Latin, dude.
Yeah. Get pulled over in your Flintstone.
That conversation actually came up. I was talking with one of my clients. She was just like, "None of you guys know how to write cursive anymore." I was like, "Can you speak Latin?" First question I asked her. She was just like, no. And I was like, why not?
Things I was like,
didn't the people before you speak Latin? They knew how to do it. I'm sure they learned it in school. Was it not important then? Why is it important for you? Because and she goes, that's not fair. I was like,
it is fair.
I was like, that's literally the same argument.
It is
we
fair.
Don't need cursive anymore.
It is fair. It is fair. Things get outdated and we move forward past certain things.
We realize that it's not a necessity or usable. And people, I love when they bring up the argument, oh, but what about your signature? What's the difference with that?
They don't care.
No one gives a shit, bro.
I remember people saying back in the day, oh, when you make your signature, this is going to be attached to you for the rest of your life. Make sure you sign it the same way on all your important documents. Let me tell you something, bro. I've signed my name different every day since day one. Not one motherfucker goes, that's not the same as this one over here. I've signed for properties. I've signed for businesses. I've signed for so many things. And not one time was somebody like, oh, this isn't the same as you've done it before.
Why didn't you have this submission? Why is your S different than that S? It's like, bro, no one cares.
Nobody cares. Those things aren't valid anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
A lot of times it's just like click the box here and shit like that.
How and auto sign. To this?
Huh?
I was like, we went from steroids to this.
I don't know. We're living in a weird time where things are just transitioning faster rate in the last 20 years than they've done in the last 1,000 years.
Well, I mean, we literally have worldwide information now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Everything's coming so fast that nothing is groundbreaking
before it's
anymore.
like it took time. Like something happening in Asia no one would know about. And it's like now we're having this big update, which is why like I was thinking about this the other day. Like how the world is actually going to progress forward now. Because like, dude, even if you think about like the world wars and like Vietnam, like even when we like started first airing TV to everyone, like color TV was a huge deal, right? Or just being able to pass emails, like that blew things up.
Yeah.
And now that we have access to the world, I was thinking like what's going to happen in like 20, 30 years, like how people are going to be.
How long was the process from the time you started looking for a house to getting the keys, the physical keys? What was it, like 3 months?
No.
2 months?
No. It took me like 6. It was like 6 or 8 months.
From the time you started looking from the time you guys found the house.
Yeah.
No. From the time you found the house to doing all the paperwork.
December to
3 months,
March?
4 months.
December to March or December to, yeah.
You know how long that process was before when you would have to mail all the paperwork you did with Doug to the town hall? They would have to mail it back to you. All the papers you had to sign. You had to Xerox copy things. You think the process is tough with 3 months, 4 months, whatever it was?
I didn't know that.
Think about it. Before email, think about buying a house before emails.
We went into the title company and just signed all the paperwork.
I understand, but think about how much longer that process was.
I didn't know there was anything else to it. I thought it was always a walk-in.
You don't think Doug had to send emails and all these people had to send paperwork to different people via the internet? Before the internet, you had to snail mail that shit.
I had no clue.
Send us the proof of funds. Okay, we're going to print out the letter of your proof of funds from the bank. We're going to mail it to the loan company. All this stuff was hard copy
Jesus
paper.
Christ, dude. So you waited like a year or two to get
You waited a long ass time, bro.
Dude.
You waited a long ass time.
I would have been mad as shit.
Think about it.
I would have signed a whole new lease.
Yeah, you paid extra to get overnight or whatever it was back in the day. What was it? A week was considered fast to send your mail and shit like that?
Castaway. Have you rewatched an old movie recently?
Yeah. Well,
like,
when they do something like pre-cell phones and you're like, oh, if this movie was made today, it would not be funny because cell phone.
Because you'd just be like, just fucking call.
Yeah, cell phone.
Just fucking call. It's such an easy solution to so many things. Call. Like, you look at so many problems back in the day.
That's why you can't show like 10 and 12-year-olds movies from like prior to cell phones because they'd be like, why didn't they just call their parents?
Yeah.
This would have been done.
Yeah. You'd be like, why didn't they just ask?
Yeah.
Like, because you couldn't. I mean, it's like the conversation I told you I was having with the college kids. The ones where he was shocked because he was like, what did you guys, it just blew me away when he said it. He goes, what did you guys do when you were younger? He was like, you didn't have TikTok. That blew me away.
Wait, what?
So I didn't tell you?
No.
Yeah, so it was the second conversation after that first one I had with them. I asked them, I let them know like how like a bunch of people responded to me. They couldn't believe like the stuff that they were saying. So then they started asking me more questions about how it was when I was a kid, right? Mind you, like, because these kids are like from 17 to 20. So like I have a 13 to 10-year gap on them. So he was like, so what'd you guys do when you were younger? Like, you didn't have TikTok or anything. So like, how did you entertain yourselves? I was like, you played outside or you played video games? He goes like, but what did you have? And he goes, so you had the PS2? And I was like, dog. I was like, I had the Nintendo 64, the PS1. He goes, you had the PlayStation 1? They freaked out. And I was like, bro, I had the original Xbox. I was like, what are you talking about? And so then he was like, but how did you like get in contact with your friends? I was like, well, you would call them as long as no one was on the internet. He goes, why? And I was like, because you couldn't use the phone because it would scream at you basically. He goes, what? I was like, made a bunch of noises on the phone and you couldn't do it.
Before you had cell phones, you ever go to a friend's house and scream their name and hope they answer?
So that's what that's what I went to.
I remember there was a kid, Peter. So we lived in Astoria, Queens, and I remember he lived on like the 3rd floor. I would go outside and be like, Peter! And I would scream his name for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I'd be like, I guess he's not home.
He's not home.
Yeah, because you would hope the mom or somebody answers the window, goes, Peter's not here.
Yeah, that's something.
They have no idea what that's like.
And that's what I told him. He was just like, so what if you didn't answer the phone or something, what happened? I was like, you get on your bike or you walk over to your friend's house, you knock on the door.
You took a chance and they were there.
And he was, and that's what he said. I was like, well, what if they're not there? I was like, then you have a sad day. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, you go home or you find your next friend and you try to go find someone to hang out with, or you go home and you're just by yourself. He goes, what then? I was like, you play outside, dog.
Yeah.
I was like, you just figure out what to do.
Occupy something.
Yeah. I was like, your parent, my mom would kick us out and be like, come back in when it gets dark. Like it's that would be it. And so not that I feel bad for them because they have a different sense of like what to do.
Yeah, of what's
but it's also like they really didn't experience what we had to, and it's so crazy to see that.
In
but
20
we're in such
years-
this like weird mix of things.
In 10, 20 years, they're going to say the story of what they do normal today to the next group of kids, and they're going to be like, what the fuck? Why
I
did you
truly
do
think
that?
school is going to get outdated in like 20 or 30 years. I think
school in general
I don't think being in person
is going to be a thing.
is going to be a thing in like
Let me
20
tell
or
you,
30
this
years.
is
I
gonna
think a
create-
big thing is going to be virtual.
This is going to create socially awkward
Yes.
motherfuckers. It already has.
Yes.
It's going to produce so many socially
Oh,
awkward
I see.
people.
I see
bro.
people that they can't talk.
Yeah.
They can't hold that conversation without
Everybody's
like
got an
they'll
anxiety.
have to do this.
Yeah.
Within 5 or 10 minutes of having a conversation, they have to pick it up.
Yeah.
They're going to have to go to it, and they're going to
Bro.
sit there. And it's like, again, I'm not going to sit here and judge it because what did we do? Like, and I asked older people this too. I was like, you guys used to pick up a book and you sit in the same room and then not talk to each other. I was like, it's the same thing. They're just going on their phone. They're like, yeah, but they're getting so much information from something else. I was like, yeah, but you're
Yeah.
still ignoring each
Listen,
other in
listen.
the same space.
Yeah, but if you were reading a book and your friend was in the room with you and you started talking, you would stop reading
You would put the book down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
These
where I will
kids
say
think
is the
they could
difference.
listen and have a conversation while they're talking, while they're texting or
Well, I
doing
will
whatever
say,
they're
like,
doing.
I mean, a lot of them, I'll give them credit because they'll hold a conversation. They'll have a headphone in and talk to you. But
I don't know.
What I don't-
when
what
I'm
I
talking
think-
to someone, I got to stop what
but that's
I'm
what
watching.
and so that's what I think is the difference because we grew up where it's like you had to put the stuff down. I'm going to give you the attention,
Yeah.
right? We're now having that conversation again. They grew up differently where they see each other and they're like this. They'll hold a whole conversation
No,
while
I'll be
doing
like, I'll
stuff.
fucking hit that phone.
But that's
out
what I
of your
mean.
hand.
They're in a whole different
Don't
situation to where
disrespect me
they're.
and not talk
But they
to
don't
me
see
like
it as
that.
disrespectful.
It's super disrespectful,
But
bitch.
they don't see it that
Give
way.
me your attention. What you got to do that's so important there? You got to like 10 videos in a row while talking to me? Talk to me, bitch.
Talk to me, bitch.
I mean, what are we doing? Go fuck yourself, dude. No, I think we're going to have such a big group
It's
of
gonna be-
socially awkward
be
people.
weird.
Bro, that's why they're talking about how like dating is so awkward and weird nowadays because
they don't
they
know
don't know how to. They don't know how to put this down for
You know
an
what they
hour and
also
just
don't
talk
know?
to people.
That whole go up to you. Because you know what, like I realized is like I was talking to my sister and she goes, yeah, we're just talking. We're just talking like when she was talking to her boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yo, you've been talking for like 6 months. What the hell does that mean? She goes,
6 months?
like, yeah. She was like, well, like we'll go out, we'll meet up. But then it's like, we'll go back to texting. But it's like, nothing's really official. I was like, what?
For 6 months?
6 months.
That's
dude.
a
like,
long
they're
ass
talking
time.
forever. And I'm
No.
like, yo,
No.
like,
if we go out on like 3 dates, 4 dates, I'm gonna ask you. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, are we together?
like
We're together
this is
now.
official
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
right? Like they don't want to put a title on things. They're like, and I think that's also
That's weird.
They're so worried about
That's
one.
weird.
They're worried about the I think
No.
the denial of it of like, no, we're not actually together, and it's gonna crush it.
No. You know what that tells me? That because everybody says it nowadays that we're in this hookup culture.
Yeah.
They're so fixated on finding the next best thing. Before cell phones, think about it. If you grew up in this town, right, you only had
Who you
20
do.
people who you ran
Yeah.
into to possibly date. Now you have endless possibilities of people that you could find online to be with and stuff. It opened up the net so wide. So they're in this hookup culture of like, oh, I don't want to commit to this guy or girl because I might find somebody better online, somebody who's
And
more my
also,
match.
like,
And that causes them to not look past people's flaws.
Yes.
They see one little flaw and they go, I don't want to be with
Yeah,
this guy. He's not my soulmate.
I don't want that little
I don't
flaw.
want, yeah, I don't want to work past this issue
Yeah.
with this person. I don't want to get past like they want to find the perfect person because we've been lied to that you're gonna find them on
Which-
there.
Coming from a guy, I'm not like a relationship expert. Like Mac
I'm not
and I,
either.
Yeah, Mac and I get in plenty of arguments and stuff like that.
Everybody
but
does is normal.
We've been in a relationship for 15 years. What I will say, if you're looking for the perfect match,
You're gonna be alone forever.
Yeah,
You're
because
gonna die
you're
alone.
going to have fights. You're going to have arguments. One,
Yeah.
I'm not the same person I was 15 years
No.
ago. Like,
Me and-
15,
No, me and Danielle don't agree on a lot of things,
Yeah.
but we got to work past
Yeah,
it.
you figure
The
it
problem
out.
is nobody wants to take the time and effort
That.
to work past it. They're like, oh, I'll just find another
I'll just go
person.
online.
Yeah, I'll just find
I'll
somebody
just-
who
I'll just
will
go out to
just
the
put
bar.
up with
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
It's like, nah, dude. Like,
Stupid.
one, that doesn't help you grow. You should look at, and I don't like this whole thing where like you shouldn't expect the other person to help you grow. It's like, no, you should. I really think you should. Like, Mac helps me grow, not because it's like I'm a child and she's forcing me to grow, but it's like
but
there's
you
something
gotta
I want to offer her
change,
more.
bro.
That
You
it's
gotta
like
change.
you'll see it, and if you're never going to change yourself,
You don't suck your thumb anymore. You know why? You grew up.
you fucking changed. It's okay to change. I
Yeah.
promise you, it's okay.
Try things new, like
Like skydiving, Joe.
crystal meth.
Like skydiving.